Laziness, procrastination, bad habits. These are not just minor flaws, but real chains that restrain our will. We all face it. Hanging out on social media, putting off important things, succumbing to weaknesses. But the Stoics taught that humans can control their thoughts and actions. They believed in the power of discipline, reason, and self-control. This video will help you, based on the wisdom of the Stoics, to free yourself from bad habits. Take control of your life and stop wasting time. The first step to freedom is awareness. The Stoics taught that man's first enemy is his weakness to his desires. We procrastinate not because we are lazy, but because the brain seeks shortcuts to pleasure. Alcohol, fast food, social media are all traps designed to give instant gratification, but take away our control. Epictetus said, "Only a fool blames external circumstances. The wise man looks for the cause in himself." Realize that the problem is not the world, but your attitude toward it. You are not dependent on these habits. You choose them yourself, which means you can stop. Why is that important? Because without awareness of the problem, you can't change the behavior. Imagine you have a toothache, but you ignore the pain. The longer you put off going to the dentist, the worse it gets. It's the same with habits. If you don't realize their impact on your life, you'll continue to follow them on autopilot. Practical advice. Keep a habit diary. Write down how much time you spend on bad habits and what emotions drive you to them. This will help you see exactly how you fall into the trap of procrastination and addictions. Listen to your thoughts. Every time you feel like doing something useless, ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I trying to avoid? Imagine yourself 5 years from now if you don't change anything. What will your life be like? This image will help you realize the seriousness of the problem. The Stoics taught that there are two categories of things, those we can control and those that are beyond our control. Harmful habits are an illusion of need. You don't need to check social media. You don't need chips or cigarettes. You've made those things part of your life yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You can command your mind. Do not let it be a slave. Separate your wants and needs." When you feel like spending an hour at TikTok, ask yourself, do I really need this? The answer is obvious. Gain control by questioning your impulses. We often justify bad habits by saying we need it for recreation or it helps us relax. But the Stoics taught, rest is not mindless consumption of content, but conscious recuperation. True rest is sleep, walking, sports, and creativity. Practical advice. Use the 10-minute method. When you feel like checking social media or eating junk food, wait 10 minutes before you do. During this time, being aware of your craving often lessens it. Write down a list of things you do have control over. For example, I don't control other people's actions, but I do control my reaction to them. Replace false needs with real ones. If you feel like eating fast food, drink water or eat fruit. The Stoics didn't call for meaningless prohibitions. They knew that if you simply remove a bad habit, but don't replace it with a useful one, the void will consume you. That's why it's important not just to give up procrastination, but to channel your energy in the right direction. Seneca said, "An idle mind is the devil's workshop." Start implementing discipline. Instead of social media, books. Instead of games, sports. Instead of alcohol, meditation. The stronger you strengthen yourself, the weaker your old attachments will become. Practical advice. Make a list of alternative activities. For example, if you want to go on social media, Open a book or do 10 squats instead. Remove triggers. If your habit involves your phone, turn it black and white or delete unnecessary apps. Develop new hobbies. The time freed up from bad habits needs to be filled with something. Addictions and laziness are often linked to emotions. Stress, anxiety, boredom push us into bad habits. The Stoics taught that emotions are not the enemy, but they need to be managed. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, ask yourself, what am I feeling? It may not be laziness, but fear of a daunting task. Seneca said, if you can't change your circumstances, change your attitude toward them. Overcome your fear of complexity by replacing it with action. Practical tip. Use the 5 why method. When the urge to distract yourself arises, ask yourself 5 times why. Develop mindfulness. Keep a diary of emotions. Analyze your reactions. Practice breathing exercises and meditation to manage stress. Getting rid of bad habits is not a one-time fix, but an ongoing process. You don't conquer procrastination once and for all, but you can learn to make the right choice every day. Practical tip, use the 2-minute rule method. If you're too lazy to do something, start with 2 minutes of that activity. Set yourself small challenges. For example, a week without social media. Create a reward system for discipline. For example, if you had a productive day, you can allow yourself a nice little activity. The path to freedom is a path of self-control. The Stoics knew that our habits define us. You can change yourself if you start today. Small steps lead to big changes. Don't put it off. Start now. Take control of your life and become the person you've always wanted to be.